Hi everyone, Chris Evans here. How you doing? I'm answering a few questions today for my dear friend Lindsay McKeon. She has a blog. She's a wildly intelligent person, one of my favorite people, and she had a few questions for me, and I'm happy to answer them for her. So let's dive in. What thought process gets you through the ups and downs associated with life? What thought process? For me, it's trying to stay present. I think Lindsay, as you know, Lindsay and I met when I was 17, and we both had a very similar spiritual belief system. Mine was a little more rooted in a little bit more of a noisy brain. I had certain beliefs and desires, and I wanted to be a certain type of person, but a lot of my thoughts were kind of I guess rooted in the ego, and when I say the ego, I don't necessarily mean arrogance. I just mean the part of your brain that says I. It's the thinker, and that part of your brain is very self-serving, and it's very it lives in a world of comparisons and time, and none of these things are helpful. It just kind of would consistently take me out of a positive place. The man I wanted to be, or the man I thought I should be, or thinking how you should be doing things or what you should be doing, but then not executing those things leaves you in this kind of spiral of disappointment. But again, all that thinking is based on time. You're basing who you are and what you think you should be on who you'll be tomorrow and who you were yesterday. And so for me, the most effective tool I've adopted is just trying to stay present. When you're in the moment, it's not like you've satisfied the part of your brain that thinks in terms of time. It's that the part of your brain that thinks in terms of time just gets quiet, kind of doesn't exist anymore. So a lot of my old hurdles have kind of become far more manageable by just staying present. All you really have in life, I think, is just now, a series of nows. And I think when you can kind of surrender to that, you can't lose. So for me, getting through the struggles that are associated with day-to-day life, it's just be present. Don't think about tomorrow. Don't think about the next minute. Just where are you right now? Don't miss right now. Be here now. And a nice sense of calm just kind of washes over. When did you start to think this way, and where do you believe the thoughts originated from? I probably started thinking this way when I was, maybe 15, 16 years old. They say you don't really wake up from dreams, you wake up from nightmares. And not to say my childhood was a nightmare at all, by any means. But I certainly started to see a pattern, where whatever my struggles or challenges were at that age, if they were ever kind of met or satisfied, I started to see how the next day my brain found new struggles and challenges to be at odds with. And you start to realize how amazingly resilient that part of your brain is, that can just create conflict and truly be at odds with what is. And I started to worry that no matter what happened or where I went in my life, will that always be that way? What's preventing me from being truly happy or truly peaceful or present? What is the thing that's creating this conflict? And you start to realize a lot of it, when you take, it's not those individual things. Well, that girl didn't like me, or well, that guy's smarter than me. That's not it. It's the part of your brain that is driving this machine, the I, that ego. It's a very self-serving animal, and it lives in a world of comparison, and a lot of Eastern philosophies, whether it's Buddhism or Taoism, Hinduism, they all kind of share a similar awareness of that brain noise and its potential pitfalls. And at that age, I just kind of that's the one thing that just made the most sense to me. That's the one thing that I saw as it just made sense to the treadmill that I saw myself running on. That was the one thing that I said, yeah, that's exactly that's what's going on here. This is just this brain that just it's no matter what I do, it's going to find new things. Scared me, and that worried me, and that's what kind of made me want to pursue a little bit more exploration into that way of thinking. What teachings have helped you shape your journey along the way? Well, I'm a big fan of reading. Big fan of Eckhart Tolle. That guy is it. The Power Now is a fantastic book. New Earth's a fantastic book. Stillness Speaks. First book I read that really turned me on to all that was Siddhartha. Siddhartha's a phenomenal book about a guy who was a Brahmin, educated man, but still felt that something was missing. Goes to the woods, even meets Buddha, decides he can't even follow Buddha. He still just kind of feels that any type of education given to him by someone else is still just going to be filtered through that kind of egoic eye. And his goal is really to try and strip away. He ends up going down a very different path, but comes out on the other side a changed man. But so those books all had a lot of impact on me. But again, I'll say anything by Eckhart Tolle. To me, that's kind of like, it's like my Bible. Any day I'm having a rough time or I can't seem to change the channel, I can pick up any one of his books and just read any chapter, and it just resonates. And it's a nice feeling to know that you're not the only one thinking this way or going through these struggles or hurdles, and it just kind of exercises that muscle and works out that part of the brain really well.